Alright, hello again, welcome back. Yet again, I don't know what it is about this particular scene, but it seems to not like the stream. It's causing a lot of those hiccups, where the stream just keeps on cutting out, but hopefully we can get through this without losing too much progress in the meantime. So, let's get this done. While it's recording, I want to get through as much as possible. Probably that little segment there where it was just a few seconds and then it cut out again. I think I'll just skip out. So this will probably be an experience. I don't know. Sometimes OBS can go hours without hitching, without any hiccups. But then occasionally at random, it will make that hiccup. It will make a hiccup where it'll drop out, annoyingly cause this. But as long as I catch it, then there won't be a whole lot of progress lost. So, alright, so just gotta press on and keep going. The stream must go on, and as I said, there's not much I can do about these hiccups. They're just gonna happen at random. Some problem with OBS that seemingly can't be avoided. Sometimes it's going to happen, sometimes it won't happen. Alright, so here we go. I don't know. Seeing like this puzzle, another puzzle area coming up. Oh, here we go. This is what I was looking for. Look who that is. So as we said in previous Half-Life games, we saw that influence of the G-Men in making appearances. And he's back. Now that he's influencing the events again, he's gonna make these cameos, just like that, where we see him in the world, and he's showing us that he's observing the proceedings.
But made it no farther than the abyss.
Well, if they got it over there, maybe we can jump it back to this side.
As far as that cutscene directly, he's also saying how he has some sort of control over Alyx directly. Some sort of mind control. He instilled a message in her to be delivered later. Again, won't know what all this will mean until much later. The only important thing we need to know right now is that we're no longer free of his gaze like we were since the beginning of Half-Life 2 Episode 1. But, of course, we can't do anything about that. We just gotta continue on, do the best we can. Whatever his influence is, we'll just have to deal with that later. Alright, so, to a puzzle room? Or, I guess a puzzle area.
Good luck, Gordon.
And they're relying on me to deal with that. In the meantime, they're going to provide support from up here, so another one of those great sniper segments that we saw in Episode 1. Here is where Alyx is going to provide sniper support for us as we deal with all that that environment down there. Alright, so for the time being, we're going to be separated. Try and figure out a way through here. So again, to recap all of that discussion on that one cutscene, because you know it is very important from a storytelling perspective. It is the big thing there is that it is like basically the one example where in the middle of the game, in the middle of the experience, the game takes a timeout from the interactivity to show us a story moment, a specifically story moment without any interactivity, which is a great departure. On the one hand, a great departure from the way Half-Life normally tells its story, because it's definitely about preserving that interactivity. But that departure, at the same time, is very highly motivated by the circumstances, and it's a trick that it only relies upon once, at least that thus far. Previously, there have been cutscenes, but they've been used as a way to bookend the experiences, you know, to bring us into the experience in the introduction, and then as a conclusion, a conclusory. I don't know if what the right word is there. As a conclusion to the story events in a game to close out the experience. Okay. He's hearing some weird stuff. Aha. Holding a good shotgun can't solve. And as far as the reason why resort to a cutscene is because of the importance of the information. And because of all that, because of those reasons, I think that's why it ultimately works and why that scene is so powerful. Because of all that setup around that scene. Most games, we've gotten used to both games. We've gotten used to, storytelling in movies, of course, how movies tell this story through cuts, through scenes that cut to other scenes, and we're no longer confused when those cuts happen. When we, cut from one scene to the next. We realize we're able to follow that sequence because movies and the storytelling of movies are so ingrained in our society. We're much more used to it than say the people who were who saw the very first movies, and the first time any sort of storyteller through movies were use cuts of various videos and put them together as a means of storytelling, sequencing events. By cuts, I mean when one scene is playing, and then it cuts to the next scene, you see that cut. And I imagine that people who saw those cuts originally probably confused as to what was going on. But now, we're so used to those cuts as a means of storytelling and sequencing that we don't even question it anymore. Of course, by the same notion, we're used to when games do that, when games use cutscenes. We don't call them cutscenes in movies because that's the entire movie. The entire movie is essentially a sequence of cutscenes. But in a game, when we're taken from an area of interactivity, specifically of interactivity, we're playing, say, a level of game, and then it would use a cutscene specifically to tell you a story and progress the game's story that way. We're so used to that in a lot of games because that's how, even to this day, most games tell their story through a series of cutscenes. Which is why it's actually jarring to see, or not jarring, but a refreshing change of pace to see Half-Life buck that trend, that cutscene trend, and try to preserve interactivity as much as possible. So even though we're used to the cutscene as a storytelling method, that doesn't mean it can't be refreshing to see when games don't need to use cutscenes, when they can tell a story through purely interactive means. Alright. Even for a game like Half-Life, where it tries to do that without using cutscenes, sometimes we see in that one example how powerful a cutscene can be when used in the proper moment, in the proper way. Right? It can be used for climactic effect. I mean, in that one circumstance, I think it works for climactic effect there because of how it is so different from the normal storytelling. That is one way in which the difference there actually works in its advantage. It's not going to work. Need to get it on fire while it is being brought up. But I missed that. That's okay. So that contrast in storytelling, and the fact that it's out of the blue, you're introduced to a cutscene, is one way in which that scene, that specific cutscene is so climactic, and so, I guess, in your face. The fact that it is not interactive actually ends up working in its favor, because how rarely we see that specific type of storytelling. If there were cutscenes all over the place, then that wouldn't be that sort of storytelling technique would not be as climactic. We'd be so used to it. So the fact that it is rare ends up working in its favor. Alright, so looks like we gotta go through there. Let these things die first. I could set it on fire, but then I would have to... Yeah. I would have to drench the flames yet again. Let me see if I can... Well, I tried. Too fast. I think all I would need to do is just cause a spark, and the flames would come back up again. In any case, let's continue on. Let's see what's down here. Is there anything over here? There's resources, but it's also like a trap, right? Can they get through that? I'm not sure. I don't remember if they can actually get through that door. Maybe let's try and lob a grenade in there. There we go. That works. Anyway, I think you get the point now about that cutscene. I mean, it's worth discussing it a whole lot just because of how important it is and why. You know, see what's happening with that scene and why it works. That's why we need to discuss it so much. Where'd it go? Here's something, but did that thing, like, glitch out? It's supposed to attack me? Yeah, I think that enemy was supposed to attack me, but it got caught on something, I don't know. Trying to get this thing. There we go. Essentially what I was trying to do the first time around. Yeah, let these guys walk right through. Flames. Save ammo. Also, Alyx can provide support as well. Kind of turning a combat experience into a puzzle experience, or puzzle-solving experience. I suppose there are multiple ways to approach that specific section. You can approach it as, you know, traditional combat, but you can also, if you figure this thing out, then you get that nice little satisfying burning zombie scene. Works quite well. Alright, there we go. Are we through? Looks like there's going to be a lot of zombies. Alright, so I think we discussed enough why that's important. I probably missed out some of why that works. I mean, probably talk about that one scene and all the implications of that storytelling, how it connects to the storytelling throughout episode 2. I can keep talking about it for ages and ages. Can probably write a very large essay, thesis on it, or whatever. Don't need to get into that, but I think just want to stress the importance of that scene and how what it's trying to do with the storytelling there and why it works. Despite it being a traditional cutscene, and why it works even because it is a traditional cutscene. So anyway, before I get back into it again, let's continue on with the game and discuss what is going on in the immediate vicinity. Alright, so I want to bring this with me, but okay, I guess that works out. Aha, so we're kind of similar to what we saw in episode 1, where Alyx can't get good view of the zombies. Can clear the obstruction and give her some targets. Make sure not to fall through just yet and clear as much as possible. I think that's all I can clear. What can we attack here? That thing, definitely. Oh, where did my gear go? There it is. There it is. Can't lose that gear. That's too. What? Not a gear. It's a saw. Dang it! Lost it. Where is that thing? Oh, there's one over here too. Definitely the most efficient way to take these things down. Oh, I can't grab it. Can't clear this view, right? Alright, good old crowbar is just as effective. Saves a lot of ammo as well. Alright. Now I can continue forward. Survive that onslaught. Oh, here we go. Whew, okay. Alright, see some of those barnacles there. Let's try and get this done right this time. Let's prepare the pistol. I think that'll work just well. There we go. Let's want it to be destroyed up there. Alright. Figure out a way through here. Okay, I think up there. Interesting playing this over again. I haven't played this in a while, so I don't like automatically know what I need to do. But it is almost like I'm playing it over again for the first time. Looks like I have to go over there to that vent to figure out how to do that. Ah, indeed. Need that thing too? Possibly, I'm not sure. It's probably a little too big for me to lift. Like a good old box puzzle. If I can get the box in here. There we go. There we go. Wouldn't be Half-Life without a good box puzzle. So even these yeah, we're seeing that challenge there as far as puzzles go. Definitely more challenging than some of those earlier puzzles. Seeing these challenges appropriately ramp up, and so far haven't been stumped by anything. But I think that's because of the ramp up is so subtle. They're gonna get to a point where they have just the right amount of challenge without being too difficult. Not sure if I need this. Maybe I do. Alright. Strategic use of that. Strategic use of the fire barrels there. There we go. Yeah, that particular traversing that environment is kind of like a puzzle and a combat experience combined into one. And there's a good example where the challenge is definitely ramping up and getting a little bit more difficult. But quickly figured out that I need to make strategic use of the fire barrels, not waste them all outright. Make sure I get as many of them used you know, as efficiently as possible, and I can make it through that hazard. Even then, took some damage just because, mostly because of the fire barrels. They were trying to use them in close proximity to walls and such can be difficult. I should be safe from those. I don't necessarily need to attack any of them. Alright, almost there. Trying to just get away from that thing as fast as possible. May need some of these. There we go. Alright, Alyx. There we go. She's still over there providing support. Okay. Touch and go there for a second, but I think kept my wits about me and was able to surpass that. So yeah, definitely liking. You know, a lot of the puzzles were simple earlier on. If all the puzzles were like that, then it would definitely be a kind of a drag solving those things. Like, hey, it's not really requiring a lot of brain power to figure this stuff out. But here, the puzzles aren't necessarily difficult. They're just difficult to execute because of the hazards that are going on around me. Having to balance traversing this environment, which is basically like solving a puzzle, while also fighting these zombies at the same time. It's sort of that same puzzle solving under duress that I discussed in previous Half-Life games. Gotta skip my way back here. Alright.